you said that the Bible should be allowed to be in the school, but it should not in the public school system, but it should not be mandated that they read the Bible, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't mandate it. It should be optional, but
What
it
does
should be
mandate
available.
mean?
Like people should be able to.
What do you
Say
mean
that
by
again?
mandate? Define mandate for me.
So mandate means that you make it a policy, like the way that when I grew up, and I grew up in Texas, and so we always had to do the Pledge of Allegiance, the Pledge to Texas flag. Then you had to do, there was also the moment of prayer that they would try to do at games. I just feel like that's excessive. Like I think making people have to do certain prayers. Now, if you go to a Catholic school, sure, you signed up. You go to a Catholic school, you go to Jesuit, you have to do that, right? But I
they
think
didn't make you do the prayer. You stood there or sat there, but they didn't make you say it.
But I'm saying to mandate it like that, right? Like that feels like it's forced. It's like, why is that a part? Why is that a part of the system? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't make you, for example, say if you're an employee that there is going to be a Pride Month, company-wide event, and you must go as an employee. I wouldn't make you go to that if you don't believe in that. Like, is it available for people to? Sure. But should you have to go to work and go to an event and be forced to go to work as an employer? No. I think that's what about mandate. You shouldn't have people be in a space where they have to be subjective to a prayer that is not of their faith in a country of America, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of faith.
But aren't we a Christian nation?
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. We're a freedom of religion.
We're a Christian nation.
No, we're not. See, here's what's weird to me. If you're going to critique, this is the hypocrisy of this conversation. Other countries have actual what we call theocracies, right? Where they say, if you go to Saudi Arabia, women have to be covered. The Quran, their faith, everything is dictated by their faith. We criticize those countries and judge those countries by the fact that they're very religious in those ways. And we talk about how they don't have a democracy because of that. The United States should not be ran as a theocracy. We should allow different faiths and people to exist. That is what makes America a democracy. If you force people to have to read religious texts, we say this is a Christian country, and we dismiss everyone else's, then how are we showing respect to other people in this country that do not have that faith?
Well, they can have it. They can have it as long as they know that we are a Judeo-Christian nation, and they can't impose the Allahu Akbar mess on us and all that kind of stuff.
But no one is but be respectful. No one is imposing that, though. I think the opposite is here when you do that. I think we're, as a country, imposing Christian ideas onto people more than the opposite because we
we're a Christian nation
with the popularity. Huh?
But that's because we're a Christian nation. Of course, we're going to get more Christian stuff than
constitutionally, we do not identify as a Christian nation. If we're going to be, this is weird. Conservatives consider themselves constitutional fundamentalists, right? They say we respect the Constitution. I don't think they do as much anymore because so much of what they say do not actually respect the foundations of the Constitution. Like, we are not a Christian country. We are a country that actually is about democracy. We say freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Everything that you're saying goes against our democracy. What you are calling for is a theocracy. And that's actually anti-democratic in the way in which we see it. We're literally going against other countries that have a theocracy. We're literally telling them that they cannot run their country that way because we don't believe in that. And so how dare we say that and then say we're a Christian country and not see how we're doing the same thing that they're doing?
That's amazing. So let me ask you one other thing about the books in the schools. You said that the Bible it's okay the Bible, you agree that the Bible could be there, but don't force the people to do the Bible thing.
Yeah, it should be accessible, absolutely.
And so now they have all kind of other books in the school, like Daddy Has Two Mama, Papa Got a Brand New Bag, what... those books being imposed on the children?
Those books are not being imposed on children. Those books should be just...
should they be imposed?
Those books should just be as accessible and optional like other religious texts. I think that if you're trying to
imposed, what's the question?
I don't think they should be imposed. I don't think any books should be imposed. I think they should be accessible. Like, I think the books that need to be imposed should be history books. I think people need to know history.
Yes.
I want history books to be imposed. I want spelling and mathematical science books to be imposed.
I agree.
Because that's the class they have to take. So I want those books to be imposed because that's what you need to learn. I think any other books, if they're there, they're leisure, right? But I think I'm more invested in students knowing their history. I'm more invested in students knowing how to read and write and do math than whether or not they are entertained by other books that are optional. I think those other books are optional. I think Harry Potter is optional. I think religious books that do not conscribe to your religion is optional. If you want to learn more about it, you can, but you shouldn't be forced to or be mandated to.